All right, welcome back to the B team. We got Mikey and Muller on Zoom today. Mike, give them the wave. There we go. There we go. Get that one out of the way.
What's up? What's up?
Hell of a day, dude. Hell of a day.
Hell of a day. It doesn't feel right that we're doing this over Zoom. It's very odd. Doesn't have the same atmosphere and the same vibe, but we're gonna make it close. But hell of a day. Snow's outside.
Dude, there's like a foot of snow out there.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. It's real bad.
It's real bad.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I did not go outside. I could not do anything. I was gonna go to Rivals and watch, but no, I can't. I can't drive in the snow. I can't do it.
No. In our cars, it's a death trap.
It is
death trap.
It is suicide by hand. So
yes.
we're not even going to attempt.
No, absolutely not. It's like it would be like us. We are the Rams trying to play in the snow. It just does not mesh. It doesn't mesh. No.
You're not used to it as much. We kind of are, but not with our view.
We should be.
No way.
But all right, let's get into these games a little bit here. So this is confirmed now. We have the Bills against the Chiefs in the next round for the AFC Championship game. Mike, heartbreaking loss for you. Heartbreaking loss. 27-25. The Bills are basically kneeling this thing out now. I mean, they had it.
Mm-hmm.
They had it literally, 3 minutes ago? We watched Mark Andrews have another drop, an end to a miserable season for the guy.
Cut him now. Cut him.
Yeah.
Done. Cut him. So you're going to hear me say this a lot about all the games that were played yesterday and then today. They were all turnovers. Like every single game, it came down to turnovers. And with these teams that are in the playoffs, they're going to capitalize on it. You saw it in the Washington game. You saw it, I mean, not really in the Chiefs game, but you saw it in the Eagles game. And then you saw it in this game. The three crucial turnovers, and the Bills scored on each one. They were in the red zone 3 times. They scored 3 touchdowns. Actually, 4. The one was a field goal. So 3 out of 4, they scored a touchdown. But it just, you can't be having that happening, bro. You got to protect the ball. You have to. At least I think what happened to this game? Why not? I think at the start, the Ravens were a little slow. I thought the Bills they're feisty. They were smacking them in the mouth on defense. I think the offense was rolling. But second half, dude, Ravens were down by 11 points exiting halftime. They turned it around. Halftime adjustments, running the ball more. They ran the ball with Justice Hill. Good player, by the way. I thought he had a really good game today. Lamar was dotting it up, but dude, you gotta make throws and you gotta hold on to the ball. I mean, that's really what it all comes down to. Mark Andrews, 2 crucial plays that just determined the game. A drop 2-point conversion, which hit him right in the chest. Like he bright lights come on, bam, he's done. And then obviously that looked like a freaking basketball steal cookies. Like that great play by whoever that was. But man, just you gotta protect the ball, dude. Not good. They had
drop 2. Let's not let Derrick Henry escape this thing unharmed. He had a great game, 84 yards and a tutty, but he also had a huge drop in the first quarter.
Yeah. He did have a big drop in the first quarter. I mean, he looked like a lineman catching that. Once I saw that throw, I was like, there's no shot in hell he's making this catch right near his feet, 240,000 on his body, but he can't bend down that low. His body's taking a beating. We'll give him a pass.
Follow, subscribe, back to the show.
No, I am happy for Josh Allen to say my 2 pieces here about this game. Give my 2 cents. Lamar Jackson, great year. All of Lamar Jackson stands went to sleep, I think. Because on Twitter, I was responding to some guys, I'm saying MVP. I'm just responding MVP, ? MVP. Only thing they can respond to me is Dak Prescott pictures. Well, I don't give it. I don't care about that. If you want to bring Dak into the MVP conversation, I'm all here. I'm here for that. But Lamar Jackson, great game. Then the fumble, just letting go of the ball. We're not talking about conditions that Matt Stafford was playing when he was dropping the ball. Kyron Williams. This game was very mild compared to that. There was only snow at the end there in the fourth quarter. So people are saying Lamar Jackson should be the MVP over Josh Allen. I know that, and the votes went in a week ago, I believe. I know that you're a big Lamar fan. I know there's a lot of Lamar fans that listen to the show. But play football like he did today, where he can literally take the ball and do whatever he wants with it. He can run you over. He can hand it off to James Cook. He can throw the ball wherever he wants to throw dots down the field. He didn't even have to throw the ball that much today because he was able to run. I think he went 16 for 22, 127 yards. Carries 2 touchdowns. Built different. He's built different. He could do everything. We said this a couple of weeks ago. He could do everything on the field, which is why he's the most valuable player. Not the best player, the most valuable player.
No, and I agree with you, bro. We talked about this. Like, again, I'm a massive Lamar fan, but look at this exact game. What Josh Allen does is play clean football. It might not be flashy, but it is flashy. He plays clean football. He doesn't turn it over. He has to take over games. The tush push, his runs, his power reads, his power runs. I mean, listen, Lamar has that ability too. Yes, he had a bad fumble, blah, blah, blah. But if we're just talking about a regular season MVP, I still think it's Josh. We saw the teams. Listen, that defense, that Bills defense was really playing well today. I think they have taken a step back over the last 2 years. They're still a very good defense. But I think Josh has had to do so much more than Lamar. Granted, this game, not having Zay Flowers, that hurts. So he was really throwing to a couple of third string guys that were starting and brought up from the practice squad. But in terms of the MVP race, I agree with you 100%. I still think it's Josh Allen. I still think he deserves it. And I think Lamar's a runner-up. Even though he had the best season of his career statistically, I still think Josh, what he means to his team, is the MVP.
Just a rebuttal this year, I know Lamar didn't have weapons, but when you look at who Josh Allen had today, it was Shakir and Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Kincaid had 1. Curtis Samuel had 1. Shout out to Curtis Samuel. Ty Johnson had 1. Like, Keon Coleman only had 1 catch. And Dawson Knox only had 1 catch. Amari Cooper had 0.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Josh is out here just throwing everyone. Like Hurts has got guys all over the field. Josh Allen's working with it's 2 guys. And Lamar Jackson was doing the same thing today. And Buffalo kind of had it in hand towards the end. But Baltimore showed their class and came back. That's another part of this game. I think this was the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it sure felt like it.
I don't think the Chiefs won to see either of these teams.
No, not at all. I'm with you there.
I think for once, Arrowhead's going to see an L.
I mean, hey, listen, they already played each other, and the Bills gave him that belt to ass. And if that O-line of the Buffalo Bills played like they did today, because Josh Allen had so much time in the pocket today, they played exceptional football in the trenches. And James Cook, listen, and Ray Davis, shout out to that rookie, because great change of pace back right behind James Cook. Listen, they could do it. I just don't think the Chiefs have it this year. I really don't. Travis Kelce is aging. You got Xavier and D-Hop. You got some guys that can do some things, but I just don't think they have the juice anymore. I really don't. I would take the Bills in that game.
Let's get into that game a bit here, because that was the first game of the Saturday games. Yeah, Kansas City won 23-14 over the Texans. Texans were beat up.
Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
Was won before it even kicked off, Mike.
Yeah.
We're talking, especially after the game, when the head coach is saying that it was an NFL against us. Like, come on, man. I get it. There was some iffy calls, and it happens all the time for the Chiefs, but look at all the games this week. I mean, I was texting you today, but it could have been both ways with Buffalo and Baltimore. It's all over the NFL. The refs stink. They're just as bad as all the kickers. But to the game, thinking with that mentality of, it's the NFL and the Chiefs versus us, that makes me question the coaching staff, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You had guys throwing helmets and shoving coaches after one play.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if that was just a hype moment, or if he was genuinely pissed off about something, and he was genuinely pissed off about something. But my God, he put his hands, he shoved him 10 yards, bro. I think what you said about how they have that instilled in their mind going into the game with Kansas City, the refs are going to be on their side. Dude, you got to get off Twitter and you got to get off social media before you play that team. Because Joe Mixon was saying it post game, refs on the side, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. The whole world sees it. The whole world sees it. It's dude, you just got to go out and go play your game. And he had a really good game too. Funny enough, dude, if you look at the statistics of the game, the Houston Texans outperformed the Chiefs in every single category when it comes to yardage, run yards, passing yardage, first downs. What killed them was self-inflicting wounds. Penalties, dude. I think they had 8 penalties for about 85 yards. I mean, you're not going to win games like that. I mean, we've seen it all year with teams that are good. They lose to teams because they have 10 penalties plus. But funny enough, dude, I actually thought they played a really good game besides those penalties. I thought they showed grit. I thought they were running the ball. I thought they had a good offensive game plan. I think they were attacking the middle of the field a little too much, and I think Kansas City was ready. But again, Kansas City's going to wear you down over time. Like, it might not be right away, but when it comes third and fourth quarter, that's where they turn it on, and you can't stop them. You can't. But especially that Mahomes throw to Travis Kelce, where, again, you were right as well, and I agree with you. This is where Travis Kelce is going to start shining up, and he's going to start playing his best football. But no, I really don't think Kansas or Houston played bad. I thought they played well, but not good enough. You know what I mean? So shout out to Kansas City. They're going to make it again and could potentially go for a three-peat. It's unbelievable. It's truly remarkable what they're doing. Might be one of the greatest runs that we've seen. If they win this, we're going to have another conversation, but man.
Good. But I feel like everyone had doubts about them, especially early on when they had those close games. Like, there was doubts about them. They kept winning. And Rex Ryan even was saying, I've seen this team before. They'll be a one and done playoff team, but we're back to the same old situation where you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid playing for an AFC Championship game. And if they go to the Super Bowl, they're going to be favorites no matter who they play. They're probably going to be favorites in this AFC Championship game too.
Yeah. I mean, listen, but it's a well-oiled machine, bro. And we've seen it for how many years now, regardless of what happens in the regular season. I mean, look at the Commanders game too. I mean, whatever happens in the regular season, they were rattling off wins that were so super close. You talk about the Panthers game, and there's a handful of other games that they should have lost, but somehow squeak out a win. I mean, it doesn't matter, man. Like, it's just the familiarity within that system. Andy Reid, Mahomes, Kareem Hunt. I mean, no other team is going to go pick up this guy who's sitting on his couch and ask him to start the running back position and do really well at it and do fucking good at it. So it's the new Patriots dynasty. We've talked about this a lot, and Mahomes is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. And what did we say last year? I brought this back up to you a couple weeks ago, where we looked at that video and we were talking about, hey, is Mahomes going to be the GOAT? This year was a little different because I don't think his stats and how he played really shows his GOAT status. But when you're getting to the game, this is their 7th straight AFC Championship appearance. Dude, like, that's unbelievable. They're a dynasty.
This team, like, they're 10-7 Texans.
Yeah.
They were 15-2.
Yeah, I know.
You're not going to be riding your Kansas City money line bets all the way to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, now since the Lions lost, we'll get into that game. Super Bowl bets are done. All the bets are done. I might throw in a little bit on the Super Bowl. Might be some player parlay, but we are dialing it back a little bit because this year was a absolute miserable showing for me when it comes for bets. You, on the other hand, if I had 2 hands to clap right now, I would give you a round of applause because you are rolling. We switched places. You still were doing good last year. This year, I got to give my flowers to you. He's got Vegas figured out.
Every single pick we gave out. I had Jalen Hurts. I had
Kelce.
That was a big one. I think he had 117 yards or something crazy like that.
That's
and then
the Kelce we see, man.
Like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, bro, you have been cutting out so much. I'm just like trying to read your lips, and it is very challenging.
Said that I hit both mortals too. Like, I went 100% this week.
Dude, you're on a roll, bro. You know what's funny? Somehow that Lions Washington game, there were so many points scored, and the 2 people that I chose did not score. Jaden was close. Amon-Ra had a chance, but I could have chosen fucking 8 other guys, and I didn't. I chose the 2 that didn't score.
I did text you this, I think, at around the third or fourth quarter. Like, Jaden Daniels is just playing smart tonight. He's throwing the ball away, and I think he threw a touchdown like right after this. But he was playing smart. The kid, shout out to him. Supposedly he wakes up at like 6:30 every morning and does VR tutorials for the other team that he's going to play on like 1.75x speed or whatever. Like, shout out to him for doing that because it's working. The kid's clearly working, and it sucks for me because I'm in a position where now I have to cheer for Washington.
You're going to be dealing with that for a long time, dude. This is how Josh Allen is for all the AFC East teams and fans.
When you're on Twitter and you're talking to other people or you're talking to Commanders fans and stuff like that, even Eagles fans are pulling this card on me. They're like, oh, Jaden Daniels went to NFC Chip game in his first year, and Dak's been around for 9 years. First of all, Jaden Daniels hasn't beaten Dak Prescott, so let's hold the phone there. The moment Dak comes back next year, Jaden Daniels ain't winning shit. On top of that, Jaden Daniels, I've said from day one that he was going to be a problem. You and I were on him from day one saying he was going to be a problem. The moment we saw him play week 1, we were like, this kid's going to be an issue for years to come. He's not in this whole Dak Hurts love triangle thing. There is no love triangle that involves him. If they go to the Super Bowl this year, which I hope they do, because it would keep a lot of things intact for me.
Yeah, I mean, he is. This might be a stretch, but from my years of watching football and watching rookie quarterbacks, he is probably the best rookie quarterback that I've seen. I don't know if you consider Mahomes that because he sat a year, but the dude was just locked in. He was dialed in. He's so poised in the pocket. He's what Cliff Kingsbury wanted Kyler to be. And Kyler is nowhere close to what Jaden Daniels is. His accuracy, his decision making, the way he runs. I mean, he's so fluid, he's so shifty, and he's fast and he's smart. That is everything you want in a quarterback. And the fact that he went into Detroit, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and beat them 44 to whatever, 31. Yeah, putting 45 points on them in Detroit is spectacular. What a game. I mean, again, like this is what I said before when we started the show. It came down to turnovers. Jared Goff throwing picks left and right, looking like Darnold out there. Like, you can't do that, man. And they were, listen, that running game was still, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, if Saquon didn't have the fucking season he was having, he'd be the best back in the league, 100%. But they played sloppy. They played sloppy, and Washington ran it down their throats, which was very unexpected by probably by Detroit themselves. Eckler looked good. I mean, it's just the turnovers. Dude, you can't throw 4 picks and lose a fumble and think you're going to win the game. They played clean, perfect football, Washington. And hey, they deserve it. Terry McLaurin deserves it. And I think one of the MVPs besides Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury. From what he was dialing up, that whole game plan and that scheme and his play calling was phenomenal. So I texted you this too. I texted Lucas this. He jumped up my rankings for who I want for a coach for the Jets. That was spectacular what he did. He out-schemed the shit out of Aaron Glenn, that defense.
Washington's not going to do this next year because Cliff won't be there. It's going to be a new mind in there working with Jaden Daniels, a second-year player. People are going to start figuring out Jaden Daniels. Look what they've done to other quarterbacks in the league in their second year. Look at CJ Stroud this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jaden Daniels is going to have a little pushback next year. I hope he doesn't because I do enjoy watching him play.
Like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to Jared Goff real quick. He's got negative mobility, dude. The Lions are the laughing stock in the NFL. We all thought Cleveland was all those years. No. Detroit Lions are the laughing stock in the NFL. They didn't win a single game that year with Dan Campbell on the team. And now Dan Campbell takes over, and all of a sudden we're supposed to expect this team's different from when he was on it. No, they're never going to win. They're never going to win. We have guys wearing shirts into stores talking about other teams in the league going into the season. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown dyeing his hair for the playoffs, for the playoff run. But you just wasted, I don't know how much money to dye your hair an ugly shade of blue that now you're going to have to ride that haircut into a vacation. You're an idiot. Like, I'm sorry. This team is the laughing stock of the NFL. They're a joke. They are lucky to be 15-2. 5 interception game. The Texans should have beat them that game. I don't know how you throw 5 interceptions and win that game. It's
okay. So you cut out the end, but I will say this: very, very bold take on the laughing stock of the NFL. But I get where you're coming from though, because I would still run through a fucking brick wall from Dan Campbell, and I think everyone else in that team would. Jared Goff's got to play better. You can't throw 4 picks. You can't do that. Again, I think what they want in a coach is what they have right now. They have their coach. They have their coach. Is Jared Goff the answer for the future? Probably not. But they're going to keep him. They're going to keep building around him. I think both of those teams, the Commanders and the Lions, they're only going to get better. They're going to keep adding talent. And I think for Detroit, and I'm not going to make an excuse, but injuries definitely caught up to them this year, especially on defense. That's obviously Amik Robertson, him obviously getting hurt, big loss there. But no, listen, they're going to be a playoff team every single year. They're going to have a really good record every single year. But can they overcome the playoffs? Can they overcome that big game where they're supposed to win? Listen, I wrote off Washington.
they're like, are they?
What?
Chicago's going to be good eventually.
Yeah, let's hold on to Chicago, bro.
No, I know, but Caleb Williams is a very good quarterback.
Bro, Lucas is texting me every day, like almost on suicide watch. He's like, I might have to switch teams, bro. I think the Bears right now, they're gonna be a project, bro, and it's not gonna be an overnight thing like the Commanders. What we just saw, it's gonna take time with them.
Detroit's not going to go 15-2 again. Look at their schedule. It's a very tough schedule. They're going to lose probably 6-7 games next year, and they'll still be considered a very good team. They're going to be like the Texans.
I think,
and they're going to be a 5, 6, 7 loss team.
Bold take, man. Bold take. I still think they're going to be good. I think they're still very good on offense. I think their O-line's the best. One of the better O-lines in the league, probably behind the Birds. But when you have guys like Gibbs and you have guys like Monty, you're going to run your offense through them. I think if we're going to keep Goff, they're going to be a little bit more conservative about him and not as aggressive as him throwing all the time. I also think in that game, just going with the game here, Ben Johnson, listen, we rave about this guy. I rave about this guy. When you're in the fourth quarter and you're down a score and you're having Jameson Williams throw a ball, what kind of play calling is that? Like that, he had a couple of really bad decisions. I think the one was it was either a 3rd one or a 4th and 1, and they passed the ball. Dude, you have one of the best O-lines in the league. It's not like Washington's defense is like top notch. Like, let's be real here. Like, they're a team of destiny, and they're just riding the hot hand right now. Yes, they are good, but their defense is not elite. All right, but you should not be throwing the ball on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, whatever it was. And there is no way in hell you're running a trick play in the fourth quarter and having J-Mo Williams, who was humping the ground in the end zone, throw a ball. Come on, Ben Johnson. What are we doing? I know you're getting fancy and all that, and you're trying to make shit happen. But in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes left and you're down at home in a playoff game, bad call. Bad call. I just at least it wasn't Goff going out for a pass, but like still, bro, that's just not what you want to do. End around to Jameson Williams, let him run. Oh, go ahead. I'm never gonna hate on that. But to have the dude throw, dude, he's a vertical threat receiver. He is not a quarterback. Has he ever thrown a ball in the middle of a season in his whole career playing a football as like being a football player? Probably not. So that was very bold. That completely swung around the momentum. I mean, they had the momentum, but obviously they were probably going to go down and score. But no, that sealed the deal.
In the game when they just had him running go routes, but it was basically suicides because he had to sprint to the end zone, sprint back to the line of scrimmage, sprint to the end zone, sprint back to the line of scrimmage. I felt so bad for him. That dude got some great cardio, and I don't even think he got targeted one time.
How can you let a dude that was humping the turf in the end zone put the ball in his hands and throw it? That was You must really trust that guy, man. My God. Like, dude, if you score a goal and you started humping the pitch, I would sub your ass out. Like, I'd be like, what the like number one, you'd probably get a red card. Number two, you're running sprints the next day of practice. Okay.
I agree with you. That's an insane move. It's an insane move.
Yeah. But again, it was turnovers. Turnovers killed them. Eagles, Rams. Okay. All right. Well, start me off.
Looked like he had never had rain, snow, sleet, anything of moisture touch the football when he had to grab it. It was I was baffled with what I was watching because it was like 3 possessions in a row that Kyron Williams, one, couldn't hold the ball. Matt Stafford couldn't hold the ball. I think he had drives where it was just like you're shaking your head. You're like, I don't know how you even let go of the ball like that. But ultimately, yeah, he hasn't put up numbers. I don't think he's ever thrown more than 150, 156 yards, something like that, in a playoff game in his life. Usually he gets benched in these playoff games by Tua Tagovailoa. But Saquon Barkley, us for saying that he's possibly the greatest running back of all time. Mike, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it. This might be a homer take being from the Lehigh Valley, but Saquon Barkley is the best running back ever.
He overtook LaShawn McCoy's snow game. That's all I'll say. Clearly, he did.
He took over every snow game.
Yeah.
Embarrassed. They should be so embarrassed that they let this guy leave. How do you not realize you have a generational talent sitting in your backfield?
Like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
Embarrassing. The Giants are the worst franchise in the NFL right now. They are not the laughingstock of the NFL, but they are probably the worst franchise based off of this year.
I think number one, I don't know if you've seen that clip where the GM of the Giants is asking his son.
Jaden.
Yeah. Promote him. Please promote him.
Why aren't the Giants doing it?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, come on. Listen, his Madden rating might not have been that good, but you just got to do it. But okay, so let me put my 2 cents in here. Rams Eagles, again, turnovers, crucial turnovers. I thought Stafford played well enough. I thought he did what he had to do, but Kyron Williams, crucial turnover, Birds go and score. I said this to Ethan, bro. You don't want Hurts throwing 40 times a game. Yes, they came out guns blazing right off the bat. Hurts was throwing, he was getting loose, trying to ease up and get used to this cold. You have his arm going where it's not rusty, but that's 205 yards from Saquon Barkley. They could not stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. The O-line, Mekhi Becton, ex-Jet, of course, looking like a fucking Hall of Famer yet again. But it's what they have to do, and that's the recipe to win. I've said it since the beginning of the season. You just have to run through Saquon Barkley. You got to use the run game. Kenny Gainwell, I mean, as an RB2, he's getting yards. He looked like Justice Hill tonight. But Jalen Carter, Jalen Carter, another guy who played out of his mind today and completely saved that defense. Zach Vaughn, same thing. Like they were just gelling. And they looked really good. I mean, when it came to the fourth quarter, with like 4 minutes left, it was getting a little sketchy. They probably could have lost that game, but they stayed resilient. They were battling some adversity, but they did what they had to do, man. Listen, the receivers, they weren't doing much. Dallas Goedert wasn't doing much, but when you can control the line of scrimmage, which they did, and they got to Matt Stafford, all the keys to the games that I mentioned, they were sacking Stafford. They were blowing up that O-line who played miserable today. That Rams O-line looked terrible today. They exploited it. The defense exploited it, and they let Saquon just go to work. And that's what's going to win you games. When you play Washington next week, your defense has to step up. Your defense has to step up, and you got to do the same thing on offense. And they're going to make the Super Bowl if that happens. I think by the way, what a great NFC Championship game. I don't think we've seen an NFC East rivalry or two teams in the same division go to the championship in a long time. But no, the game was in the Birds' hands pretty much the whole time. I thought the Rams D-line was showing out. I thought Jared Verse, after all the comments he was making, actually had himself a very good game. But again, it's when you make turnovers like that, teams are going to capitalize in the playoffs, and that's exactly what the Birds did. And they had a shot, dude. Listen, they were going to come back, and they had a shot. But you know what? I give them credit because they don't play in the snow often. They're indoors. They're out in LA, and they showed fight. They showed some fight, but overall, Saquon Barkley exists, and you couldn't stop him. I swear it's not my connection, bro. For at the start, I thought it was the hat maybe covering it up, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you should be fine. I don't know what it is. This is why I hate Zoom. This is why we do this shit in person. It works. It's perfect.
And that's why we should be moving south.
Yeah. We're going to move south. We're going to start golfing again, and we're going to go from there.
Quick little story. I don't think I told you about this.
Okay, talk to me. You might have to text me, but I'm listening.
What? We're out of here. We're out of here. We're out of here. Mike, we'll see you. We'll see you later. Bye.
Good stuff, guys.